And welcome everybody to the PWF Empire Raw podcast. After today's Monday Night Raw, it's Raw April 24th, 2017. You have your gentleman, your nicely dressed man, Micah Kool-Aid, here on the show. This is at Micah Kool-Aid, and we got in the background singing it nice and slow.
The people don't need to know that, and of course I'm the live wire at DJ Cass. What's going on, Michael?
That man just
Thanks a
pick,
lot.
picking up the pieces after this Raw. That's the best way I can do it. Okay, I put it this way. It wasn't dreadful.
Micah,
Sir.
if this was not a hobby of mine, and if I wasn't doing it to entertain the unwashed masses, I would have turned the show off.
If I wasn't hired by PWF Empire, I don't know how long my contract lasts.
Yeah, Jay, I want to get paid for this after what I just got through.
I'm gonna have to negotiate with Jay over my contracts and whatnot. But,
both of us.
But I know I'm scheduling for a year, but we got this show that we got to start going with. So let's begin. Okay, everybody. While we're getting all of our pains and outs of this, we're gonna liven it up. It may not have been a good Raw, but it's gonna be a damn good PWF Empire
and
show.
Slow.
Indeed. So the very, very beginning of Raw opened with Braun Strowman showing everything that he's done for the past 2 weeks of just destroying people.
Mm-hmm.
And it followed, and it's really good. It's really good. Trust me, there will be more Braun Strowman a lot in the show.
Okay.
So the very first promo segment to open the show is a highlight reel with Y2J, and if I can't, I don't know if anyone's seen something like you see someone's doing something wrong and it just keeps going bad, and you're just like, nah, this is how it's going. This is how it's going all the way, because this was this 20-minute segment.
Literally 20 minutes.
Literally 20 minutes of Jericho doing his highlight reel, and it opened with Jericho talking about that if he beats Kevin Owens for the United States title, he's going to be transferred over to SmackDown, which was good. He did promote his next upcoming match and show and say he wants something, and the ramifications will go into effect. But then he starts doing his catchphrases and cheer me on, man, you're the friends of Jericho, man, blah, 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 standard Jericho business. And then The Miz shows up. And he starts doing, he doesn't do standard Miz. He comes out and he says, the highlight reel is over. This is the Miz TV now. Let's scrap all this. And everyone starts, the crew starts taking away all of the stuff from the ring for a Miz TV segment. As soon as Miz says, welcome to, Dean Ambrose's music hits, and Dean Ambrose now interrupts this segment to now say that who cares about the Miz TV segment? We're going to do the Ambrose Asylum segment, which no one asked for. So then we have Jericho and Dean just saying quippy lines here and there.
Good continuity, though. Good continuity with that Jericho Dean Ambrose. I like that, though.
And they still, that is true. Ever since last year, they have always kept bringing it up in Survivor Series. Now they have kept that they did not like each other just a year ago, and I like that they did that. You have to find the silver lining in a lot of tonight's show.
No, I'm not.
And they just make jokes. Dean Ambrose presents Jericho with a new jacket, which is literally a very bad brown blazer wrapped in Christmas lights. I mean, I could rock it because I'm a gentleman and all, but Jericho, not so much.
You could even fried, dyed, and laid to the side with that thing on. I mean, Jesus Christ.
So Miz, I'm almost done with it, everybody. So Miz finally inserts himself and is getting all riled up and calls Dean a joke and calls Dean that he's pointless and whatnot. So Dean immediately hits him with the dirty deeds, and it's over. And
that's what he should have done.
Um, Cass,
I did not like this segment one bit because it's like they completely except for Jericho's part, because it's like they completely forgot that we have a pay per view this Sunday, the quote unquote Raw exclusive pay per view. Even though two of the top matches are from SmackDown, but that's around the point. I just don't like opening segments that just have the funny stuff, but yeah, it doesn't lead to anything. Like all it did was just Ambrose hitting dirty deeds on Miz, which is what we saw a couple weeks ago. And I'm sorry, but I'm really sick of the Ambrose like quirky, corny
he's he,
stuff. I
he's
just can't stand it.
it's just too much now. Like, we get it.
Hmm.
You're zany. You're kooky and funny. Just stop. Just you're beating the joke into the ground. It's over. You're doing a Family Guy skit. It's over. Stop it.
This is like Robot Chicken more than Family Guy.
It was. I can go with that. I can agree with that too. It was 20 minutes of just, first off, their whole like, oh man, you can't stop a show because
Yeah.
that's unruled for. Let's start our show. Blah 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 blah. That got stupid really fast. Dean was dumb. Jericho was pandering. Miz was just a joke. Exactly what I said on the PWF Empire podcast that is usually aired on Friday, that you guys can find if multiple avenues. Um, that the Miz is not going to be getting as much uh, uh, shine on him as he did on SmackDown, and he is technically getting shine on him, but it's in a whole different light, and we will get there way
Mm.
later down the line. But this 20 minutes was a drag. So immediately after that, we have a Matt Hardy versus Sheamus match, and Matt Hardy got a lot of offense in from everything.
Delete.
Yes, the swiping motion, swipe.
Yeah.
I see
Definitely.
people are finally getting on the swiping motion train because this means something different. This
Yeah.
means it's
Yes.
something way different. But um, Matt does a lot of stuff. He hits a side effect on Sheamus on the
Old
ring
school Hardy
apron.
stuff.
Oh yeah. I also like that Matt does not know what gimmick he is. He's not. He's the Hardy Boy
Uh,
slash version 2.0 slash delete all in one.
I'm a little iffy on that because to me it kind of comes off as like corny, and it's like it just comes off way too silly to me. It's like just pick one. You don't need to go through this. I actually like the match, and honestly, as one of Matt Hardy's MFers from back in the day, I'm still one of them. I love Matt. He's actually my favorite out of both the Hardy Boys, and
Oh.
I will say this though. The Hardy Boys definitely need some type of a gimmick change because their pops are already not as huge as they were the first week that they came here. While the pops for the Hardy Boys every time they come out, all that's just nostalgia. And as we saw with the Dudley Boys, nostalgia
Yes.
will only get you so far. But yeah, Mac picks up the win. I mean, at least the Hardy Boys are winning.
Yes. He wins. He wins by hitting a twist of fate after Sheamus is what is it?
So yeah,
Preoccupied with Jeff Hardy and Cesaro
they
fighting on the
both look
outside.
so dumb. Sheamus
And
and Cesaro both look so dumb, and
yeah,
that's what I did not like.
the thing for me is that they're not only younger, they're way better athletes that they've shown on
Yes.
so many different avenues. And then these old dudes, one being about to turn 40, the other one about to turn like 43, beat up. Uh,
Damn.
Jeff Jeff has torn his body to shreds. When he moves, he looks like he's going to just fall to pieces like on Mario. When you're Mario, you hit the skeletons and they fall to the
Hmm.
ground. That's what he looks like to me every time. And he just and then they beat both of them in singles competition, thus making both of them not look credible.
Look, and definitely makes them a little late. But like I said before, that the Hardys definitely they just need just that gimmick change because again,
Yep.
I'm already getting, I was done with the Hardy Boys. I wasn't like done with them, but I was done with the nostalgia part of it like weeks
Yes.
ago. So it's like they need to do something new.
And before we move on, they're treading the, as you said, the Dudley Boys. They're, hey, we're back. We did this thing 20 years ago. Remember this. But they're not progressing anything that they're doing. They're just like, we're remembered. Let's do it. They're not doing any storyline. They're not doing anything. If the story was that they aren't as confident in themselves because they're facing younger, stronger opponents that they haven't fought ever, that would be a lot more interesting than, yeah, we old and we go whoop that ass, which is what they're doing. A quick Kurt Angle funny moment happens where
Great shit.
the Miz shows up and he says, "I've been waiting outside for 2 whole minutes. Unacceptable, unacceptable." So,
Yeah, it was just missed stuff.
but and it's shown a lot through here. Kurt Angle has this certain, how can I say, je ne sais quoi of
Why are you
of
using big words?
it's not even, I don't think it's even English. It's basically a certain kind of flair, a certain sort of style to how he does in these promo segments. Of that, he does. These people are weird, crazy mother effers, and he's kind of just this random guy who's there, and they're like, "Oh man, I'm not gonna need a partner. I'm not gonna need to worry about my tag team partner," which is way later down the line. Yes, you are. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. That is, he is hilarious in just the little tiny things he adds to
Yeah,
matches.
definitely.
Um, which he sets up a match that Miz needs to find a partner because he will be facing Dean Ambrose and Jericho later in the night in a tag team match. Once again, we will get there. Next match that shows up is Neville and T.J. Perkins versus Jack Gallagher and Austin Aries.
TJ Perkins changed that goddamn corny ass Nintendo Light music because you are a heel. I'm begging you to change that music.
100%, the music does not match up with how he's being presented lately. It is just not. It just
Yeah,
doesn't fit. When
it
Neville
doesn't.
turned heel, his whole upbeat went to a much darker, menacing tone. That's all you need to do is just change the video music from upbeat to low tempo, and it says so much.
But the
But
tag team match, I thought was I actually found like this was one of the points of the night where it was actually fine to watch.
if I
The tag team match was really good.
if I look over the rest of the card, honestly, to me, this is probably the best match. And
It
that
was
is-
the best match of the night.
nothing to say bad about the 205 Live guys. They do great in-ring work, and they normally don't let them show it on Raw. This time, Jack Gallagher got beat up a lot during the match. At some point,
Yes.
he did a transition to get Neville and T.J. Perkins into the corner. He tags in Austin Aries. Austin Aries is a man on fire. He
Yes.
kills it. He hits like all of his moves in his arsenal. An over the rope, kind of swanton bomb-ish. He does a net breaker on TJP. He dives through the ropes. He does every move you could possibly think of in such quick succession without missing a beat.
Very smooth.
Very smooth, squeaky smooth. I can't. I'll try and figure out something so we don't take squeaky clean away from the other thing that we talk about.
Yeah, definitely. I'll be honest with you. Like, I'm surprised that this match was not on 205 Live because to me this would have been like one of those highlights. But
Yes.
I will say though, they need to stop changing the freaking ropes during Raw because it just automatically gives that crowd the signal of you don't need to care about this. They're not technically part of the show. They're within their own universe. Besides that, like I said. Like you said, my man, the match is just like really solid. I like Jack Gallagher's headbutt, even though he needs to tone that down a bit. Just tone that down a bit.
Yes. No blood concussions on your head,
Yeah.
please. But as we said, it was a good match. Aries looked good. Neville is Neville. I mean, he's the king of the
Is it weird?
cruiserweights.
Is it weird since CJ Perkins turned heel, he's been losing a lot still?
He's been actually. It's the same with all 205 Lives, and this is another show for a different segment. But the problem with 205 Live and the cruiserweights in general is that unless you are in the main event, you
Yeah.
technically are subjugated to anything. You can win a really good match
50-50
and then
booking.
literally immediately lose and lose all credibility. And if you're a heel, actually, in 205 Live, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna lose. But this ain't the 205 Live show. This is the Raw show. This follows up actually with Braun Strowman versus Kalisto in a dumpster match. So I'm going to paint the picture for everybody who has not seen it or who did see it and who who would love this. So Braun shows up right after the commercial break and says, "Kalisto." Hello, you guys hear me?
I
Okay,
can
okay.
hear.
He shows up and he's Kalisto. I can't even do it right now. He just says that he's gonna destroy Kalisto, throw him in the dumpster.
I'm sorry, I just can't get over. I just can't get over
It's
this
okay.
crap.
It's okay.
I hated the way this was booked.
It was the best. It was the best way to book it, but it didn't need to be booked. Is what
No,
it is.
that's the thing. I will say though, Kalisto, you gotta give that man credit. He knew he was gonna get the
Oh yeah.
crap kicked out of him, and he at least got a win. He actually had a decent promo with Kurt Angle backstage, but I hated the way that they had Braun lose, even though it doesn't technically hurt him. Isn't the rules like a casket match? Like you're supposed to close the freaking lid,
You ain't
and
gonna
then you
close.
win.
You ain't gonna close nothing on Braun. He don't even close doors in his house.
And no offense, but it's like Braun, you beat up a little dude. Big deal.
So we jumped the gun. Basically, Kalisto did win the match, but Braun won the war, 100%. Braun showed up, talked crap about how Kalisto is gonna be put in his garbage can, and that he's gonna treat Roman the same way that he treats Kalisto, which is garbage. And if you hear that, the crowd actually kind of boos him. There was a large amount of Roman love in this crowd tonight, and I did enjoy it. It didn't need to be complete. It wasn't WrestleMania over
Yeah, there
flooding
you go.
boos. It wasn't over flooding boos like we see on
That
Raw
has to be
all
a
the time.
casual crowd then.
It had to be a 50-50, maybe even 60-40, with 60 being more Roman and 40 being the
Yeah.
less Roman.
Yeah, 60 being 60-year-old women and 40-year-old men.
But then Kalisto does actually a very good promo with Kurt Angle before he comes out, saying that I'm a
Mm-hmm.
man. And it's funny, he says, Kurt, you have to understand that as a man, I can't be looked down upon like this. And Kurt's like, I've never been in a situation like that. He
Yeah,
says
you a man, but
it.
you a midget.
He says it so quick. And Kalisto goes out there. Basically, if you watch Lucha Underground, he looks like Drago,
Yes.
100% to me.
Oh yeah, he definitely did. But actually, real quick, I will say though, for what the little stuff that they did do before the end of the match was actually decent. Like I don't know what the heck, like that customized jawbreaker that it or what it was.
That was neat. That was
Like this
neat.
was like Rey Mysterio. This was like what I wanted when Rey Mysterio took on the Great Khali. Ironically, 10 years ago,
Yes.
but this was much better. But yeah, still, I still didn't like the way it was booked though. At least they made Braun look strong in the end. But I
They made
mean,
them both look strong, which is what was needed. Remember, everyone who follows me on Twitter, once again at Michael Kool-Aid, you see me saying Braun's gonna just murder him. And
yeah,
Kalisto got in a very good amount of offense. He did a promo. He got a very actually good pop once he started like moving around in the ring.
good music.
His music was different. His music was good. He had a new look. As a new guy stepping into Raw, who we all thought he was going to get destroyed, he
He
came
did.
off way better than like
He did get destroyed.
he did get destroyed, but Kurt Hawkins got destroyed yesterday, and today. Last week and
Mm,
today, and we don't even care 2 iota of a crap about him. Kalisto got his shit in. He got GMSI, and while he did get destroyed, and he still served his purpose, he also still made himself look good for future anything else. Maybe don't get beat up in the back anymore. Try.
thank God Roman did not show up during this because
Yes.
that was my one fear.
Oh yeah. No, they've done very good with keeping him out of there, mostly because he got destroyed.
That
Um,
was so hilarious though, the way that Kalisto just dropped Braun into that dumpster.
yeah.
That just cracked me up.
So Kalisto won by kicking Braun's feet from while Braun is on the ring apron. He kicks Braun's feet from under him and has Braun fall into the dumpster. And
He's like, did
Braun
I really lose to this gnat?
and Kalisto is frozen in fear. So Braun's like, "All right, I'm gonna whoop that ass."
There you
Gets in
go.
the ring, beats the crap out of him, throws him in the dumpster, takes it up to the top ramp. For some reason the security are old retired wrestlers who have super big injuries who can't do anything. So they So Braun latches Kalisto to the dumpster and throws it off of the edge of the ramp, thus killing the poor man.
Yeah.
It was a very good segment. It was very safe, and
Uh,
it was. Sorry, while I did say that it wasn't, the match did not need to happen at
yeah.
all,
Then
and that was that. But what they presented us was done correctly.
yeah.
And each party's ended up looking fine, and Braun still looks strong. Now, will he look strong at the end of Payback? Tune
Uh,
into the review show
mm,
later. Tune into the review show or any other topic for anything else, or listen to us on Twitter for our thoughts on that. After Braun destroyed destroyed Kalisto, I'm sorry, excuse me. After Braun destroyed Kalisto, there was a good long Roman Reigns video package that made him look.
Yeah, highlighting the fans of Roman Reigns, oh the
Yeah,
Roman Reigns
yeah.
side, the gloves, the little kids with the vests, like that was just such BS. Like I cannot
It
believe that crap. They are trying to label this dude as a babyface again.
it was it was weird because it was in the mid. They were doing like, oh my god, look at our up and coming rising baby face.
Yes.
But then he would be like, this is my yard, y'all, which got him the most amount of boos a person has ever gotten. So it counteracts itself.
Yeah, that was just weird.
But it was there. It happened. And this happened too. A Bray Wyatt promo again. Shocking.
Uh,
And trust me, don't think that this is going to be the last time we talk about Bray Wyatt. Um, Bray Wyatt talks about that the House of Horrors match will be Brandy's Purgatory, and
get,
bullcrap.
get this Duck Dynasty reject off my damn TV screen.
And once again, no mention of the WWE title. So this
Which
isn't
is
even for the
dumb
title
as hell.
anymore. This
This
isn't
is
even
dumb
for
as hell.
this isn't even for
Dumb.
the title anymore. This is a joke. I'd take my hat off, but I don't even give two craps to do it this time because F this man. I had so much high hopes for Bray being champ and going into WrestleMania, and they
I
literally
didn't.
just pooped all over it. I had exciting feelings for it because it was something not only new and interesting. It's better than Randy. It was better than Randy getting having the title, and there were so many possibilities with Bray, and then they were just like flush that down the toilet, and now with the shakeup and Randy and Bray and everything, the way that it just let up, it's now just this smoldering pile of
Dog crap.
shit on fire. Sorry, on molten lava that just won't go away. It just won't go away. And they also made sure to explain to us that the match will start at the house, but then finish in the ring, not making any sense. It's so frustrating.
This Raw is confusing.
The
But
past kind of two
anyway,
Raws have been, but we'll keep going. Dana Brooke pinned Alicia Fox, and the showed up.
why?
Dana Brooke pinned Alicia Fox. Never
Why?
showed up. And after that, we had a Samoa Joe and Club promo, which was
I was marking out for that to be honest with
yeah,
to be
it
honest with
was
you,
neat.
knowing my history following all three of those men. But what we got afterwards was a bit interesting.
Very, very much so interesting. Um, Joe talked about, but I definitely wrote it here. Joe said he'd break more of Rollins'
You
ligaments at
see,
Payback, but for Triple H and Stephanie again. And I'm still not on board with Joe
you're
being.
turning into the corporate bitch, Joe.
And I just came to the realization actually, and I'm just gonna shine a little light on it. And I'm sorry, people. I have to bring it up because I have to compare it to this. On Impact just recently, but don't even look at that.
Oh,
Don't
I've
even
seen
look
it.
at that.
I already know what you're talking about.
Yes, Low Key, aka Caval from NXT Season 2 days,
Yes.
showed back up, and he is now basically the Hitman from the video games Hitman. He wears a complete suit and wrestles in a suit the whole time to
And it
get
was
his
cool.
target. And it's very cool.
It was
It
cool.
fits him very well, and it's very clear Joe and Low-Key are very good friends. They still communicate in multiple avenues. It's very clear that they do. And it's very clear that Joe is trying to take Low-Key Cabal's idea and put it on himself. But Caval is doing it way better than Joe is.
Yeah,
And Joe needs to just turn back into that monster that he was on NXT.
yeah.
Um,
The six man was after this, right?
yes. Immediately after this, Enzo and Cass came out to fight the club and Samoa Joe with Seth Rollins, and immediately they get destroyed.
Good.
I have to do it like this,
Good.
like bam! It was fast. It was awesome. It was exactly what the club needed to be doing. We're tired of seeing Enzo and Cass versus the club. I don't care in any iteration. I don't want to see it ever again.
This Sunday, but that's
I know,
the point.
But that's a pre-show. I don't even have to watch it if I don't want to. So they beat the crap out of Enzo, do the magic killer on the outside of the ring, and basically destroy Enzo. He can't participate in the match. Rollins comes out to assist, and then we go to commercial break. We come back from commercial break. Kurt Angle's down on the ramp saying that, I got your new partner. Enter in Finn Balor.
This is a dream match, but for all the wrong reasons.
Yes. It's something that could have been built.
Why all of a sudden does Finn Balor hate or have issues with Gallows and Anderson? That's what I don't get. Technically, his best friends. Like people, look at this. This is the too sweet. I've seen New Japan. Finn Balor is the original leader of the Bullet Club. He formed that Death Factory. He has this. So why all of a sudden does he hate or has some kind of issue with Anderson and Gallows? And here's the thing. What I liked about the 6-man tag team match was actually pretty good. It reminds me of like when the Shield were actually still a group and we got those 6-man tags all the time. This kind of brought it back to the old days because you just don't get 6-man tag team matches like this anymore. But yeah, it definitely added some interest and intrigue to what we could see later on because they already have established that they're former buddies, quote unquote former buddies. So it's like you got to figure something's going to happen with those two because you can't go on with them interacting, even if they're on opposite sides. Just going off and acting like nothing bad ever happened. I will say Big Cass definitely looked good, and Seth Rollins. Oh man, I'm not. You guys know me. I'm the number one Seth Rollins mark on the PWF Empire staff, but
So
love the new finish though.
We can talk about the finish once we get there. For sure. Though it was very interesting to see Finn back.
Yeah.
Once again, I'm sorry because they have shown even on regular Raw WWE programming that Carl and Finn are best friends. They grew up together. Finn has said it on multiple different avenues. Carl has said it on multiple different avenues. We know this. Kurt Angle calls out and says, hey, we got this guy. And Finn doesn't show any trepidation, any sort of fear, or any sort of
emotion.
No, he's just like, all right, I'm cool. I get to beat up on my buddy. Shows up. That's weird. Hello? Sorry, the mic cut out for some reason. He shows up and he just immediately attacks his buddies. And the match begins. And Balor gets in. Everyone looked very good. Okay. Everyone looks very good in everything that goes on and whatnot. And Finn did his stuff. Carl and Luke did very good. Joe looked very menacing. Cass was there. And Seth was doing his. Seth was actually out of the match a lot of the time. Finn was mostly the one in the match doing a lot of the stuff and getting beat up a lot or doing the offense. Once he tagged in Rollins though, Rollins tried to mimic what Aries did and it just didn't feel right. That's the best way I can put it. Because he got the hot tag, but it didn't feel hot. It just felt like you just turned on the oven.
But the crowd ate it up, so I guess there was no problem with it.
And once again, we could channel this at a different time, like a different podcast or whatever. But Rollins isn't really that big of a face. Is the best way to put it. He's not.
And it breaks my heart.
He's not doing anything particularly face like important. Like okay. I'll draw this. At the very beginning of the match, the Club and Joe beat the crap out of Enzo and Cass. If it was a true face, he would have came down while they were getting beat up. He waited until Enzo got destroyed and Cass got taken out. Then he's like, "Oh yeah, hit my music, and then he showed back up.
It takes time to get to the curtain, though, man.
But he's standing right there. You know he is. As well as he's not any different. I've been drawing the picture a lot, and if you guys have been listening on a regular basis, that Seth is now, Triple H was the king, Seth was the knight coming back to take down the king that betrayed him, and Joe is the monster. But Seth now was originally, if I have to keep it in the spectrum of the knight and stuff, he was the Black Knight working for the king. But now he's transcended into being a regular royal knight. But he hasn't changed anything. He's not like, oh, I want to do this for you guys. He did the promo a couple weeks ago, which was standard babyface promo, but he's not really picking up off of it.
Definitely.
He's just exactly the same. And I don't know if it hurt him for the factor of that we've had him for almost 2 to 3 years as a straight heel for so long, so that it's really hard to just look at him as a face now, or he's just not fully clicking yet.
I mean, at least we can tell if he's trying to be a face. I can't tell what Finn Balor is right now because he's just been so stagnant since he's been back. It's like they know what they want to do with them, but they're trying to wait till they get away from Payback in order to really start what they want to do with them, I guess. But
and for Seth, he's putting the pieces together to put his face mode in now. He did the promo. He's hanging out with good guys, and now he changed his finisher from the pedigree to I'm going to call it the knee maker.
But you need to be careful with that because what happened to John Cena.
Yep. If they said the curb stomp, a person that I follow on Twitter, I think his name is Stewart. He says that you can ban the curb stomp because it looks dangerous, but you ain't gonna ban Seth from kneeing a person in the face when he broke a man's nose. That's just, but it was a neat finisher, and I like the way that he set it up because he's about to hit the pedigree because he's used to it. And he's like, no, I'm not that guy anymore. He takes him off, turns it around, hits him with the knee maker is what I'm going to call it, and pins Carl Anderson for the 1-2-3, which is good.
That's it.
And as you said with Finn, we'll find out on the Payback pre-show what the hell he's doing because he's not doing anything. After this, we have a Alexa Bliss segment. Alexa Bliss comes out.
Oh boy!
And I take it you're not a fan of it. Alexa Bliss comes out and she. I'm
a fan. I'm a fan of Alexa Bliss, and not to cut you off, my man, but she drove that crowd great.
Oh, it was perfect.
I say Alexa Bliss was great. Bayley's was god awful, but people. Bayley, her promos were never this bad in NXT. Or they probably were bad and they just did a good job of covering it. They have just destroyed. They could have made a lot of green with Bayley. A lot of green money, and they have just ruined it.
They have been making a lot. Instead of green, they've been making a lot of nickels. A lot of dimes and quarters instead of like dollar bills, hundreds. Bayley was a surefire money thing to do, and they were just like
she's like the anti-version of John Cena.
So we'll jump back into the beginning. Alexa Bliss shows up, and she does her promo about how I'm tired of hearing all these girls come out and say that, oh, we've been trying to live our dream and trying to do all these things, and we finally achieved it.
Which is what you were doing.
Exactly, which is why I didn't like this promo from her, but I did like that Alexa Bliss. And everyone needs to really pay attention to her. She does know how to handle the damn crowd. If we go back to a year ago, if not maybe a year and a half ago, Charlotte used to freak out and lose her temper real bad when the crowd said what to her. You know what Alexa Bliss does? She says, and I quote, "What? Oh, we're going to do this? What? Okay, so we're really going to do this." People who think Alexa Bliss is awesome say what? The crowd says what? And they're like, wait a minute. She tricked us. She tricked I picked my hat off to her. She tricked us. And they just shut up. And they immediately stopped. And I was like,
And then
you
Sasha,
go.
and then
No.
Sasha had to
Bailey
come
shows
out.
up. Bailey
Then
shows
Bailey
up
showed
first.
up,
And Bailey gives out the standard regular promo of that,
which
I've
was
worked
not good.
so hard to get here, and I'm not going to let you or anyone else take this away from me.
Which is
And
what Alexa Bliss just criticized.
yes.
Then Sasha Banks came down, and it was no better.
Nope. Sasha Banks comes down after Alexa Bliss did tear down Bailey by giving her really bad high school
Yeah.
bullshit stuff like, oh man, you bet you haven't kissed a boy.
Yeah, that
Bitch,
I don't like.
I'm
That I
28.
can't. Yeah, that I don't like. That I can't stand when Alexa Bliss does that crap because it's like it goes back to that World Wrestling Entertainment. But
Yes, and it was reminding me of that SmackDown thing that I talked about. That all of them are high school girls. She don't need to
yeah,
be bringing that high school shit over here. She needs to be bringing that surefire,
hmm
spitting that hot game stuff. I don't like Alexa Bliss. I'll tell that to anybody right now. I find her infuriating and annoying, but I will admit that she is damn good.
no,
On the mic, in the ring, she still needs work, but
oh yeah,
but then Sasha Banks comes out, and Sasha, and this is what I find about Bailey, which is very frustrating. She doesn't really have confidence in herself.
yeah.
She not ever once in any of her promos has she said, "I'm gonna beat you and be the best." She just
I'm gonna beat your ass and prove why I am the
yes.
Raw Women's Champion. And
Sasha came out and said that, not Bailey.
And then we got the match: Sasha Banks versus Alexa Bliss. I'm actually fine with Alexa Bliss, not to move forward here, but I'm glad Alexa Bliss walked out. Like, I'm fine with that because I hate it when WWE cannot do first time matches on a pay per view anymore. And at least this way, you gave a little bit, but then you kind of teased it in the end. But it's kind of weird Alexa Bliss is walking away when she's the challenger for a title at a pay per view Sunday. So it's kind of like give and take in a situation, but save the match. You just gotta make Alexa Bliss look strong.
For me, and you have no reason to apologize for jumping because the segment was over. Basically, Sasha Banks was just saying, "Hey, we got a match." Alexa's like, "No, I got a match this Sunday. I don't need to be fighting you." Well, fuck you. We're still gonna have a match. Match happens. It wasn't even a match. It was maybe like a minute. Excuse me, two at best. And she, Alexa Bliss, as you said, she just gets out and walks away.
Yeah.
And that's the correct move. And I understand. Yeah, I'm sipping cognac, man. You think this is tea? You think this is anything? Nah, this is straight up bourbon. I may be a gentleman, but I'm a turn up gentleman. It's literally water. It's literally water. Anywho, Alexa Bliss walks. Alexa Bliss walks away, and that's the right thing to do because it keeps the feud going. As well as it makes us want to have them fight again more, and as well as that Alexa Bliss didn't need to fight, nor did she need to prove herself, and she was right. I don't need to fight this girl. I don't need to do anything. I'm the fucking number one contender.
Yep.
I'm gonna go home and eat a cheeseburger. I don't need to be here for this shit. So she left.
Yeah.
And Bailey went and grabbed her and tried to pull her back, and Alexa Bliss got away, and then she's like,
Which made Bailey look dumb.
Yeah.
I had to say, which made Bailey look dumb.
Yep. Bailey's character is naive. Anywho, and then Alexa Bliss shows back up and hits her, and Bailey's like knocked out because she just hit her once. And then Alexa Bliss is like, "Yeah, I'm gonna win," and that's the end of the segment. A quick little thing happens on backstage with Heath Slater, Rhino, and Curtis Axel. I have to point this out because it is pivotal to the plot line of tonight's Raw. They're promoting their Marine 5 movie. Do not watch it. And the Miz shows in, and he's asked both of them to be his partner. For me, it makes no sense that Curtis Axel didn't accept it because that is a main event slot on the damn card that you could have accepted. But yo punk ass is like, nah, I have nothing else to do, so I don't want to do it. But whatever. Miz gets a little telegram from some random guy that says who his partner is going to be, and Miz gets excited, ready to go into the match with his new partner. little thing that happens, it actually is that Rhino has a plate full of crackers and cheese, which is really funny that they keep this thing going. And he offers it to Maurice, and Maurice slaps it out of his hands, and his face. I put out, I retweeted it. It is so funny because this Raw, if it wasn't good in like the regular show, it was good in facial expressions because these motherfuckers showed their acting chops tonight. They looked really. He looked devastated at his crackers and cheese being gone. You never get it between a man and his crackers and cheese. So the next segment is Kurt Hawkins is standing outside on his basically weekly Raw Open challenges. And he calls out for someone to come fight him, and out comes Apollo Crews.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. We're moving in a direction with him. I'm happy that they
What
at least
direction?
showed him. The Titus brand, the Apollo Crews, so you can Apollo snooze.
You mean the black on black jobbers, as I like to call them?
Yes, the black on black jobbers. Apollo Crews comes out, no reaction from the crowd.
Yeah, no, he didn't. He did not get none.
No reaction.
It just kind of it just mind boggles me to why he did not get sent back to NXT, because they could use him. This is another time for another, but they could use Apollo Crews right now at NXT. He has no character, and again, they went back to talking about his athletic ability. Who cares? No offense. We know he's athletic, but he needs a defined character instead of looking like he's from Africa. But, I mean, give Apollo Crews something, and I guess this whole thing with Titus, but I'll be honest with you, I said this on Twitter, I don't know why, but why do I think an Apollo Crews Titus O'Neil tag team would be cool?
It would be entertaining. It would be something for the both of them to be doing. The problem is that Titus has been in enough tag teams and hasn't shown any promise in them, so I really won't look forward to it. It would be a lot more of Apollo doing a lot more.
Yeah, and it's almost like a situation where let's put these two together because they're both black.
Yes, 100%. And look at, if anyone doesn't think that we're crazy, look at when Xavier Woods first showed up on Raw. He was immediately put with R-Truth. Why? Because they're both buddies.
And they dance.
If you get what I mean. So, I'm not going to shine too much on Apollo Crews because we're getting at the end of it, but I will say that he looked good, like he always does, but you're right, he's not giving any sort of character depth. And with this Titus thing going on, I hope that it brings
picture.
Yeah, exactly. And as I said, his facial expressions. He looked like, what the hell is this blank word doing here? Promoting me, putting my. I know I won the damn match. Why are you taking a picture with me? He looked like he didn't understand, but then Titus said, I'm going to get you that money. And Apollo's like, well, I got a kid coming in, so, like, all right, let's do it. It brings me with interest. And if they can do something with Apollo, I'm in it because I see so much in him, and I want them to do it. Sure. So the next segment actually is a really, really long video recapping of Braun beating up people all over again that they showed at the beginning.
There you go.
And it was like for no purpose. It was just there to take up time.
Yeah.
So then after that, there was another segment that had The Miz and Kurt Angle talking, and we had our weekly Drifter sighting. And my favorite is that when he walked by, it's like I now build that the Drifter has time-stopping abilities. He's got superpowers. When he plays the guitar, he stops time because everyone stopped doing. Everybody stopped moving. Not just Kurt Angle and Maurice and The Miz. Even the people in the background walking around minding their own business all stopped. So he could just walk by. And I'm like, that's the fucking best gimmick I've ever seen.
For some reason, this gimmick did not get over NXT, but it has gotten over on the main roster that it never was.
He wasn't drifting. He was trying to actually be some sort of a threat, which he's not. And now he's just this drifting by guy. And I think it's funny. It's very entertaining. So then we get to the main event. Once again, the main event of Raw, which now the hat is coming off. If I could put some sort of a thing tagline on the bottom says "Hats off, pissed off," That's where I'm at right now. This is stupid. So Dean Ambrose and Chris Jericho come out, and then The Miz comes out, and he's like, "My tag team partner." He doesn't have a tag team partner.
This made
Before
Miz
we
look
drag this shit,
ridiculous.
it did exactly what I thought The Miz was gonna be. He's gonna be a joke, and they're doing it like hard. They're beating it hard to the ground. They're not only bringing Dean Ambrose's jokey antics up higher, they're bringing Miz's jokey antics out higher and Jericho's. It was literally an entire joke main event.
A go, yeah, you talking about a main event. It was a handicap match. This is the go home show for a pay-per-view.
And it was dreadful.
Hey, by the way, real quick, since we brushed up on Impact, was I the only one thinking that because Maria Kanellis teased on Twitter a bit?
Oh gosh.
Oh man, I gotta give her credit because that was the ultimate joke. Because I was going like it's a miracle all night, but yeah, and Bray Wyatt coming down like what in the world?
It was just Dean Ambrose and Chris Jericho beating the crap out of Miz for probably the match started about 12:50. The show went off the air at 11:05, meaning that
It went too long.
Bray showed up around 11:03. So from 11:45 to 11:03 is just Jericho and Ambrose just beating up Miz, and you're just like, stop it! He's already dead. Not just and physically wise, his character is just taking. You know what? Even the bow tie's coming off because this is just stupid. I'm done. I'm just whatever. I'm just come on. You just freaking ruined the guy. You made him look so much as a joke all over again.
I will say though, my TV did cut off, which I mean my laptop like right as soon as a Raw ended, so I didn't get the chance to see what happened. I mean, all I did was like see on Twitter like the whole stuff that happened with Bray Wyatt. But I'm just gonna close on this. I didn't like the main event. I didn't like the way it was set up. I didn't like the fact that Bray Wyatt came out because the execution because you pretty much teased the audience this entire like this was the whole vocal point to keep people tuned in to watch the go home show, and you give them that. So did not like it one bit.
If I was a first time viewer and I was saying, hey, watch this and maybe watch the pay per view with me so you can get some context, I would feel ashamed as a wrestling fan because you can't. You got nothing from this entire show to lead up to Payback. Yeah. They did a terrible execution of it. And then, as you said, Bray shows up out of nowhere and kills them all. But when Bray showed up, everyone was like, what? Because it didn't make any sense. And Bray isn't scary. He's not terrifying. He's not a threat. He's just there. And they're trying clearly to put him back at that status as a threat. And then it just isn't. It's just not working. You can't just do it immediately and think that I'm going to be like, oh, cool. It's not like Jinder Mahal where I buy completely in. Yeah, you hear that? No. You hear that? I said I like it. In your face, people. Anywho, besides that, they do that with Bray, and it just doesn't fit well. And Bray shows up. He beats up Dean Ambrose, and he throws him into the Titantron thing, which is like nothing. It wobbles when he hits it. You're like, oh, okay. I guess it was supposed to hurt. He comes down, he beats up Jericho, and then he attacks Miz, and then Raw goes off.
Did not like this Raw. Didn't think it was a good Raw for a go-home show. Now, while there was bits and pieces that I kind of liked, it wasn't enough to overcome the abysmal for what was the go-home show.
It was back to the old school Raw of that they have no direction in the back.
Yeah.
It was shown very clearly tonight that they had no clue what they were doing, and they were just throwing stuff against the wall like this'll work, this'll be cool. And for me, since we always end up giving some sort of a grade, trying to find an equal ground on this, really not that bad. I've watched worse Raws. I've watched some really bad Raws. Any of the Raws that are basically holiday specials, those babies get Fs.
I thought F+.
I give this. I'm sorry, Cass. It was below. I'll give it a D. I'll give it a
That's fair.
solid D, D plus. I want to give it a C because I really try and find a silver lining, but this one was really tough to do it. It wasn't average.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was.
below average. An average Raw is that I can find something in a Raw that makes me like, oh man, I can't wait for this to happen. I can't wait for nothing to happen next week. We got the whole payback card, and I'm not looking forward to anything on there. Honest to God, no. Even the Aries and Neville feud, which I praise the ground that it walks on, just doesn't feel important or big or cool anymore. And that is WWE's fault because they had all the momentum for Raw. And the first week, oh man, we were so excited. The second week, Superstar Shakeup, that fucked up everything. The following week, oh man, this is pretty neat. And now we are on this week, and we're like,
Yeah.
y'all need to refurbish. I hope you guys definitely enjoyed tonight's show. I hope we made you guys at least entertained with the Raw that you may not have enjoyed. We try and make sure that everyone has a good time. Tomorrow we have the SmackDown not
Why are
SmackDown,
you plugging them?
because we are a unit, a team, a faction, a group, a foundation. I don't know what I'm doing
But
with
they
my
got a
own.
good show tomorrow night, so I'm pissed off at them.
But that don't mean that they go get the most views and the most likes. They do oddly get
Oh,
the
there you
most
go.
comments. But
There
they
you go.
do have the show tomorrow with Evan and Lucas. Sorry, I meant to say Funky Evan Medina and the loudmouth Lucas.
There you go.
Ready to entertain you all, and also make sure to check out our Last Mark Standing. We crowned our new champion, and there will be more in the future, and we'll see who might take that. But from Cass, myself, and the PWF Empire, this is the Raw Review, signing off.
Peace out. Later days.
Catchphrase.